Hello, and I'd like to welcome you all once again to our wee live concert from the old schoolhouse here in the village of Butterstone in Perthshire in Scotland on this wee Saturday night. And for our 38th live broadcast. And I'd like to welcome you all here. Just a wee quick mention that for those of you who just joined us, we're actually in the old village school here in the village of Butterstone, which is a wee hamlet of about 10 houses. And it's where I grew up, and this is the school that I had my first schooling in. And my father went to school in here in the 1930s, and it lay empty it was closed as a school in the 1960s. It's where all the country kids used to go to school. And it lay empty for years, and then I was lucky to buy it about 30 years ago and turn it into a recording studio and put all my records in here. So that's I always like to introduce to explain that to people because it makes sense of why we're here. And you'll notice the stage is getting busier as the Tatty Face family all kind of try and get on stage. I've noticed actually that this lockdown, there's a couple of things that's happened from this lockdown. One is my hair's growing. I can feel a ponytail coming on, but I just haven't been away, so it's getting longer. But I remember in Glasgow one time, this could only happen in Glasgow, I was doing a show in the concert hall in Glasgow, and I'd put my hair into a ponytail, and I went on stage, and before I even started the first song, there was this wee voice from the back of the auditorium shouted out, "My mother thinks you look better with it out." Translated into English means, "My mother thinks you look better with it out." That was a wee comment on my ponytail. And the other good bit of this lockdown is that the Tatty Face family are all getting on, and they've all formed a band, and they've been talking to me this week about making a record. And so seemingly they had a wee bit of a feud going on over the last years, but since they all kind of arrived in my garden. Anyway, I'm going to start. Enough nonsense. I'm going to start off with this song. The first 30 shows I didn't repeat myself, and I think I did about 120 of my own songs over the period. Now I'm doing wee requests, and this is a song which I had a lot of requests for. And my great grandfather came over from the island of Mull and settled on the shores, on the north shores of Loch Etive, just across from Tinelt, a wee place called Cadderley. And he didn't speak, he was bilingual, he was a native Gaelic speaker. And I was very lucky to be able to go up there a number of years. It's a ruin now, but I went up there and I was kind of, wandering around the place. And my great-grandfather married the woman from a wee place called Gleno on the other side of Loch Etive. And I was standing on the shores of the loch, and I was looking across at Gleno, and I was kind of imagining my great grandfather standing in that same place. And so I wrote this song from the eyes of my great grandfather. And that part of Loch Etive is really interesting because it's a wee island, and it has this great association with a great Northern Irish myth about Deirdre of the Sorrows. And that's part of. I can't remember the exact story, but it's a famous Irish story. I think she was put on the island or something because she was too beautiful or something. I can't remember the actual myth, but it's all part of that kind of Loch Etive thing, which I love that Deirdre of the Sorrows. I love that idea. And one last wee thing, there was a wee burn that's mentioned in the song which runs down by Cadderley, and of course it was a very great place for sea trout, my father said, and all the sea trout used to come in and go up the wee burn to spawn. In fact, my father and his brothers and my grandfather used to go up there every summer, spend a couple of days fishing for sea trout. But he was telling me that my great grandfather had a wee pond built on the stream, on the little burn, because the sea trout would go up. But just to kind of disrupt the sea trout going up, they would settle in the little pond for a wee bit before them up, and that meant that you could just go out and get a sea trout anytime you wanted from the wee pond. enough rabbiting on. Here's the song. She loves me not. Where can this simple island boy begin? This Highland pride is all I've got, but in the darkness it means everything. It makes me one with the tide. It makes me strong when I'm burning inside. Standing here on Cadderley, between the barn and the turning sea, I gaze across at these golden hills. I'm looking all the way to eternity, all the way to eternity. Stand naked, I'm the native one. I like to feel the wind across my face. I like to dream that maybe I should run, in case our tracks get covered and we leave no trace. No trace of where we have come, no trace of song we can hold for our young. Standing here on Cadderley, between the barn and the turning sea, gaze across at these golden hills. I'm looking all the way to eternity, all the way to eternity. I will sow this seed again, and I will plant this field and know it's never ending. I'll lose a son to the German wars, we'll lose the land he was fighting for, lose our language to greed and gain, all washed away by a southern rain, washed until we can't see what our own destiny meant us to be. Standing here on Cadderley, between the barn and the turning sea, I gaze across at these golden hills. I'm looking all the way to eternity, all the way to eternity. Standing here on Cadderley, between the barn and the turning sea, I gaze across at these golden hills. I'm looking all the way to eternity, all the way to eternity, all the way to eternity, all the way to eternity. Thank you very much, and that's my song Eternity, which was written from the eyes of my great-grandfather, Duncan MacLean, actually the namesake of our bass player here. And I'm going to do this wee song now, which I wrote after learning about the discovery of the Lewis chessmen. And I spent a lot of time up on the west coast of Lewis. In fact, I have a wee house up there, and just along the coast from where I have the wee house was a place where they, in the kind of 1800s, I think it was, they discovered, or 1700s, they discovered a storm opened up the sand dunes, and in this little kind of stone kind of area in the sand dunes, they discovered, I think it was about 50 of these beautifully carved chess pieces, carved out of walrus tusks, actually. And they date them at the 11th, 12th century, I think it is. And it was a fantastic story. And most of them ended up down in the British Museum in London, but I think there's 12 of them in Glasgow. In Edinburgh, in the Scottish Museum in Glasgow, in Edinburgh, but Glasgow. They're amazing little characters. They're the most miserable looking little folk you've ever seen in your life. Because the Queen's got her head in her hands like this, and the wee guys on the back on the horses, the wee horses, knights are looking really pissed off, and and so I got this funny kind of imagination, and I was imagining all these little characters marching up the beach in Uig in Lewis, and kind of them, looking around and wondering what mischief they were up to, what kind of what their plan was. And I've got the wrong guitar. So I'm sorry, just bear with me for a minute. I've got these guitars in different tunings, and it helps me to not have to worry too much about. And so I imagined these wee characters kind of coming up the beach in Uig, and I wrote this bizarre sort of song about them. In fact, I have. You can get a lovely replica set of from the museum, and I've got a few of them here, and I'm just gonna. I've done this song before, but here are the wee characters, and I'll kind of. There's the wee guy and the two wee horse guys and the king, and there's the Queen with her hand. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe Jenny can put that camera on the wee Queen, the wee pissed off Queen. And but what's fascinating, these are actually to the proper size, and if you lay them out on the floor, you can see where they've actually been cut from the walrus tusk, which is really interesting. They kind of taper in to the point of the walrus tusk. So we'll do that song now, and I want you to try and imagine these wee characters. And I had this kind of idea that if you picked them up, they would be kind of red hot. I mean, they with the kind of. See them yet? From ship to shining shore, out of an age when time was young, across the silver ocean's floor, their endless battle has begun, and they burn upon the open hand, blinding all who see. They feast upon the desert land, marching on. They burn upon the holds her weary head. Her heavy horsemen stand alone. It's for the living and the dead to search their fortune far from home. And they burned upon the open hand, blinding all who see. They feast upon the desert land, marching on. They burn upon the open hand, blinding all who see. They feast upon the desert land, marching, marching, marching. There is majesty, there is tragedy, all in its place. Rank and file ever turning and moving the space on paths of black and gold. They come with tales too dark to speak, but the fascination holds, compels us on to search and seek. They burned upon the open hand, blinding all who see. They feast upon the desert land, marching on. They burn upon the open hand, blinding all who see. They feast upon the desert land, marching, marching, marching. They burn upon the open hand, blinding all who see. They feast upon the desert land, marching on. They burn upon the open hand, blinding all who see. They feast upon the desert land, marching, marching, marching. Thank you very much. And I'm assuming that you'll be clapping there in front of your laptops and things and big screen TVs. But that's my song about the Lewis Chessmen. And go and Google the whole story about them. It's fascinating, actually, because in the kind of hoard when they found them, there was lots of things. There was a belt buckle and an ivory belt buckle. And the kind of odd things in this, and then they worked out that actually the chess pieces had been in a leather bag, tied round with a belt with a buckle on it, and that's what. But nothing of that survived, and just the belt buckle. So it's a great story, and we're going to do this wee song. This is the point where I do a wee song. Well, where me and the Tatty Faces do a wee song with a chorus, and so we'll do this. And one of the things I've noticed during this whole lockdown is just the kind of profusion of wildlife that's around, and it seems to have nature seems to be kind of thriving on the kind of lockdown thing. And I wrote this song. It's got a wee easy chorus to sing, and you know the way we need to do something about the way we deal with we're dealing with the planet for. And we just can't go on this way with it, you know. So I wrote this wee song, kind of thinking, like, you know, of humanity being like the prodigal son, you know, and kind of coming back to Mother Earth and sort of apologising for all the stuff that's been done, and then saying, look, we really will try and do better with the place. You know? And you sing, I'll be your loving one, I'll be your loving one, from the point of no return, I'll be your loving one. Okay? Chorus a couple of times before I do this song. That might be quite nice, and I'll be able to get the hang of the chorus before you sing this, okay? Now be your loving one. Yes, I'll be your loving one. From the point of no that's what you sing. We'll try again. And I'll be your loving one. So I'll be your loving one. From the point of no return, I'll be your loving. There are changes that have led us to this place, or some form from our wonder, and some from our disgrace. That doesn't help the way we feel. Oh, we're standing in the center of a broken wheel. But I'll change my ways. I'll do anything you say, and I'll be your loving one. Sing it. I'll be your loving one. From the point of no return, I'll be your loving one. Oh, our gardens, we nearly turned them into sand. To hell with all excuses. Oh, we just don't understand that it's not ours to do with as we will. It's for the future of our children and their dreams to fill. But I'll change my ways. I'll do anything you say, and I'll be your loving one. Yes, I'll be your da 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 da. Do that bit as well if you want. Da 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 da. There's a future, but we're certain of the past. It's only in the present that the perfect dream will last. As we watch our chances slip away, we stand on the center, the eternal day. And I'll change my ways, I'll do anything you say, and I'll be your loving one. So you're singing it, okay, here we go. Yes, I'll be your loving one. From the point of no return, I'll be your loving one. And this is where you sing it on your own. Ready, here we go. Okay, Mr. Typeface. Hey guys. And I'll be beautiful. Getting the vibe here in Boston, aren't we? We'll do it again with a wee bit of harmonies and things. Yes, I'll be. Better all the time now. I think you should just take a big swig of that glass of wine that you've got there in your hand, and we'll do it one last time. And I'll be your loving one. Yes, I'll be your loving one. From the point of no return, I'll be your loving one. Da 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 Thank you very much. And that was my wee song about Mother Earth called Living One. And well done for singing. You're doing really well. The vibe was here in the village. Now I'm going to do one more wee song. And I'm having problems with these guitars tonight. Then. stage is getting a bit crowded here with these tatty faces. Anyway, this is a wee song that I wrote after. These are all wee requests that I've been picking from the Facebook pages and Facebook comments. And I wrote this song after when I was growing up. I had a bachelor Uncle Bob that lived with us. And he was brilliant. And I thought everybody had a mum and a dad and an Uncle Bob, you know, and he was just there all the time. And, you know, whenever I fell out with my father or my mother, Uncle Bob was always there to kind of confide in. And when he passed away, it was quite a shock, you know, quite a shock for me. And but somebody had said, "Oh, they don't leave; they just hide in the wind." And I thought that was a lovely way of describing that. And my Uncle Bob. He was just one of these. He's amazing. He had a shed. Like I have a shed out the back. I'm really into my shed, and it was the kind of place where he had everything in this little shed. It was just if you needed a bolt a certain size by a certain length, and that you go to him and say, "Uncle Bob, have you got one? Have you got something like that?" And he'd look at it and go, "No, I don't think so. But I'll have a wee look in the shed." And then about 10 minutes later, he'd come back and he'd go, "Would that be all right?" And it'd be the perfect thing. It'd just be the perfect thing. Anyway, and then for the second verse, Jenny's mum was a concert pianist with the Sydney Symphony Orchestra, and sadly died very young with cancer when Jenny was 14, and she was a piano player. So I wrote her into the second verse of this wee song, and time has come, the light is leaving. What was sure will soon be gone. And what was certain falls and fades away. And though we search, the fields are empty. And through the forest there's not a sign. The words we shared, we can no longer say. But they hide in the wind, hide in the wind. They hide, they never leave us. They hide in the wind, hide in the wind. They hide, ready to lead us home. And Julie sang and played piano. She taught her little ones the same. Follow your dreams, let no one bend your way. Though we search, for some the day will last a lifetime. For others it's a moment long. It all flows empty, dark inside the grave. They hide in the wind, hide in the wind. They hide, they never leave us. They hide in the wind, hide in the wind. They hide, ready to lead us home. silent place you'll find us, where troubles lie too deep to stand, and the seeds we sow must grow from where they land. Oh, the time has come, the light is leaving, what was sure will soon be gone. What was certain falls and fades away. They hide in the wind, hide in the wind. They hide, they never leave us. They hide in the wind, hide in the wind. They hide, they never leave us. They hide in the wind, they hide in the wind. They hide, they never leave us. They hide in the wind, hide in the wind. They hide, ready to lead us home. Thank you very much. That's my wee song, Hide in the Wind. And I think we'll do a wee, because it's a Saturday night, we're going to do a wee fiddle tune. And most people don't know that I play the fiddle, and I don't play it much anymore, but from the age of about 20 to the age of about 30, I had a wee career as a fiddle player, and I played in a band called Tannehill Weavers, and did a wee stint with Silly Wizard in America, just playing fiddle. And but when I started writing songs, I had to kind of stop playing my fiddle because people wouldn't take the songwriting seriously because I was a fiddle player. So, but now I play fiddle socially, and we're going to do this wee tune, and I get my fiddle. But it's a bit terrifying just putting having played the guitar for half an hour and then picking up a fiddle, because it's a completely different beast altogether, and it takes a few minutes just to get the head around it. But anyway, so we've in Dunkeld we have a very famous fiddle player who lived in a contemporary of Burns called Neil Gow, and he wrote some beautiful tunes. And so I'm going to play a couple of Neil Gow tunes. The first one's in air. It's called Farewell to Whiskey, and it's a bit of an ominous title to that wee tune, Farewell to Whiskey, and but I do believe he wrote another tune called Whiskey Welcome Back Again, and then a wee Neil Gow jig. So Jenny's going to come down and play piano on this, so I'm just going to start off, and she has to do a wee bit of button pressing, but we'll finish with this, and so we'll see how we get on, and okay, so okay, here we go. Thank you very much. I have to wait till. Thank you very much. And that was a wee bit of fiddle music for your Saturday night, and a wee applause for Jenny coming up and playing the piano there. And that brings us to the end of our wee concerts. It's getting longer and longer and longer, actually. I need to kind of stop talking so much. But anyway, this is the wee point where I like to thank all the people, all the NHS, all the carers, all the people that are out in the streets doing all the kind of hard work to keep our lives all on motion during this whole crazy kind of lockdown situation. But it's all beginning to ease now, you know, and I'm getting to get out a wee bit more, and I went down to see my mum, who's watching tonight again, so I'll just have a wee toast, which I always do. I'll have a wee toast, and I hope you're all staying cheery, because that's the main thing, staying cheery, because it is quite easy for the whole kind of madness and the kind of uncertainty of everything to kind of to get on top of you. But you have to stay cheery and just have a wee bit of laugh. Look at these guys there. Look how cheery they are. And look after each other, and you know, care for each other, and we'll all be all right. So good night, and I'll see you on. We're doing every these shows every 2 nights now, two every week now. So I'll see you on Wednesday night, same place, same time. Thank you very much for joining us. Aikava, and good night.